portalsofknowing.com presents This Just In with Karen Christine Patrick. Hi, this is Karen, and I've had very wonderful conversations with Bret. Sometimes we think we should record everything because we get into it. But Bret was saying something really interesting because we were talking about the idea that what's being hidden by historical narrative, by the Vatican, by religion is a heritage that we came from space. So I'm going to ask Bret, my partner Bret Sheppard, to say kind of what he's been on about this morning for a few minutes. Go ahead, Bret.
Well, I was just thinking about the how we get, the names of all of these high gods and primordial beings from space. And that's the thing, is that no matter what culture it is, what they do is they name things, they give things titles and name them based on nature and based on their cultural identities. But all of these names are very simple, literal meanings, like Freya for lady and Gaia for earth and, so on and so forth, Chronos, time, etc. So what I was really thinking about is basically we are naming the nameless gods, or we are naming the idea or thought form of what God is, or goddess, or whatever you believe. That's the thing, is that the creator, the big guy, the highest of high, the primordial goo, or whatever you want to call your God, is all based on semantics, and it was very deliberate by the heads of tribes, heads of city-states, to get people to forget who they are, and that's the thing, is that we come from space. At least our spirit does, or however you want to look at that, it comes from space. So we're trying to name in the process this God. And guess what? The one that gets to name the God becomes a god. So that's another interesting aspect, is that these god kings became gods by naming God. And a good example of that is in the Assyrian cuneiform language or whatever in Iraq. They were naming God Enlil, El, Tetragrammatron, or however the fuck you say that. And that all of these names, these namesakes for all the different gods, are very cultural in that circumstance. And there's we named them basically. The primordial gods had no names. They were titles based on nature, tribal culture, and fundamental aspects of thought form, like Chronos, equals time, space, or however you want to say that. So this is the one thing the whole world of different cultures and people have in common, is that we don't know. We don't know actually what their name was, because they didn't have names. So that's what I wanted to say this morning. Thank you.
Thanks, Bret.